it's been sitting here a long time. Somebody's going to find it. Here's the one I was looking for. How about some Fire King? They got all mad at me, screaming at me. I'm Dr. Lori. I'm at Vendor City Flea Market in Kokomo, Indiana, north of Indianapolis. I'm showing you the stuff that's been overlooked by others. Come thrift with me. How about this? I want you to look at the dog. Don't think it's just because I love dogs that I always keep picking dogs. There's a reason for this. First of all, this is Murano, okay? That piece is Murano. I want you to look at the age of the tag. This thing has been sitting here for a long time with this $50 tag on it, and these people are not moving on it. I want to show you the label on the bottom. You see the label, and it says that basically it's made in Italy, it's Murano. I want you to also notice the gold flecks throughout the body. So when I turn it over, I want you to look for the gold flecks. See them right throughout the body? And then it has red elements and the nice yellow-green, and then the green on the interior of the body. So this is a nice piece of blown glass. The type of animal, the type of dog is typical of the 1950s as well. They want 50, I'd give them 150. So it's been sitting here a long time. Somebody's going to find it. And I leave everything here for you folks to find. I don't buy it so I can put it in some store so you can, so I can jack up the price so I can then resell it to you. I want you to find the bargains. You all know I know about Beanie Babies. Here's what you need to know about Beanie Babies. This is Kicks, introduced in 1993. This one is in very good condition. I think you've got a hologram. You want to look for a hologram tag. This one is PE pellets, and it's from 1999 because it's not the first time it was introduced. So $5. This one's Hippity from 1996. This one should have PVC pellets, but unfortunately only has PE pellets. So value on this one, $25. If you had Hoppity and Floppity with them, Hippity, Hoppity, Floppity, then you would have big value into the hundreds. Wise and Wiser. This is Wiser. This is Wise, this is Wiser. So basically for graduation they made these guys. There's a lot of them out there, only from these particular dates, 1998 and 1999. Value on those, $10 each. This is Fuzz, and this is Fuzz. So there's two Fuzzes. Kind of looks like Curly from 1993, but these aren't introduced until the late 1990s. Those are both in very good condition. They do have they look like the pellets are deteriorating, but actually that was their intention. Value in each one of those, $15 each. Oh, here you go. Here is Sammy. This is Sammy. Sammy's tag is not in good shape. Collectors won't like that tag. They want $4.87 for that. He has stains, but he's got a hologram tag, which you want to see, and the tag looks pretty old too, but Sammy is relatively well desirable. This one, of course, from the late 90s with PE pellets. In good condition, he's about $35. In this condition, I would say 15. Here's the one I was looking for. I want you to look for a maroon tag. When you're looking for Beanie Babies, look at this one from 1993, one of the earlier ones with PVC pellets. Early, meaning 1993 when they were first introduced. Very nice. And this one's in good shape. Let me take a whiff. Yeah, no odor. Great. I think that's great. Look at that tie. Nice tie tag. This is Marigold. Happiness is in bloom, Marigold says. Value on this one, $85. So there you go. There's your quick Beanie Babies. Because I know. How about some Fire King? Yeah, I wasn't going to pass by Fire King, right? So Fire King, Starburst, of course, you've got the nice casserole dish, and the weight of the lid will tell you if you have Fire King, and so will the mark, which is right on the bottom, Fire King. So the Fire King mark on the bottom. They want 30. It's worth 40. This piece, it's Amberina, orange Amberina. It's got a little bit of the yellow right around the rim. You can see, of course, the panel elements around the body. It's a nice piece. $20, I think it's too high. I think that's a $15 piece. This is a swan. Look at the head. When the head is really well formed, yes, you have blown glass, but you typically have blown glass that is made elsewhere other than Murano. It looks like Murano, it seems like Murano, but it's not Murano. So this piece, I would say I would leave here unless the price is really, really low. And it is $45, which is not really, really low. So I'm going to leave that one here too, because a piece of Murano like that would probably be worth $65. So, there are a lot of these online groups who say, oh, Dr. Lori couldn't possibly know it all. Well, I do know a lot about a lot of things, including fishing lures. So you think I don't know these? Well, I do. I know about fishing lures too. I want to show you these. These are chalkware. They're very cute. What's chalkware? It's a type of low quality ceramic, but these are cute, and I want to show you what they are. They're obviously salt and pepper shakers. I want you to look at the texture of the bottom of this. Then I want you to look at the texture of the bottom of this. So just don't worry about marks, that's not important. Just look at the textures. This has like a chalky texture. almost looks like when you have a piece of chalk in your hand, also known as chalkware. This looks more like smooth and shiny, like porcelain or bone china. So you always want to look for the smooth and the shiny, right? You don't want to look for chalkware because chalkware is chalky. It will basically deteriorate and break down, not as high quality either. So to compare and contrast, you want to make sure you're looking for shiny, right? And you want to make sure you're looking for pieces that are either bone china or porcelain or such. I want you to look for mistakes because sometimes mistakes are the things that are going to show you some money. And here's the mistake I found. So this little bear guy has a hole in the back, okay? He also has a hole right here in his mouth and a little spot right here where the seller thinks it's a scissors holder, okay? To hold a scissors. Well, it is to hold a scissors, but this is for string. So you put a ball of string in the back and the string comes out his mouth and then the scissors sits there after you want to string or tie a box, right? You tie the box and you use the scissors, you cut the string, you put the scissors back and you keep pulling the string out of the mouth. They want $35 for it. What's it worth? $45. But you got to get it right. The mid-century modern lamps are always big. In mid-century modern, what happens is there's a mixed media. This is where we get this idea of mixed media, putting different kinds of materials together. And that's what we see in these. You've got some ceramic, right? You've got some metal. You've got, of course, composite, which is a mixed media. Look at the style of the plug. The style of the plug will actually show you how old the piece is. That's a very typical 1960s style plug. So remember that too. They want $75 for the pair. They're worth $200 for the pair. And the shades are original. I forgot to say that. This piece I like too, probably the best piece I think in this whole area. That piece is solid oak, okay? Solid oak, look at the grain. The grain here you've got is very typical of solid oak. It also has molded composition matter. That's the part in the middle that looks like it's gold. Basically, that's plaster of Paris that they then molded and painted gold. They want $40 for it, and it's worth $250. So you might see a table like this and think, ugh, it's all junk, it's gotta all be junk, but I want you to be careful. So notice when I pick this up, this is Avon, and notice this is my hand, and this is my arm, and this is my face, right? I'm actually picking this up, not who knows who picking it up in other videos. This is Avon, this one's Avon, and this one's Avon, and basically they have no tops. So that's the problem with them, but for $3, they're still worth more than $3. So they're worth closer to $7 each without a top. With a top, they're $15 each. So you might want to know that about Avon. This one is relatively rare. You don't see it too much. That's why it's $15, but also it's a big perfume bottle. The other ones are, you know, those throwaway perfume bottles. Hey, how about some oil lamps? Oil lamps, $20 for the oil lamps. Not one, but two oil lamps. There's another one here. That one's also $20, and these go for about $90 each. Everybody wants record players. How about that Fisher-Price record player? Yeah, when you were 5. You thought you were so cool. Look at these, 20 bucks each. Well, that one doesn't have the needle, so you got to take this one for 20. It's just, oh, that one's 15 bucks without the needle. Okay, yeah, that's not too good. But value on that is about $20. But you got to get the one with the needle. Okay, stay there. Oh, what happened to Big Bird? Oh, Big Bird doesn't look good. So this is, obviously, this is a radio. You tune it. They want 4. Well, for 4, I mean, that's not terrible. But it's really damaged, so I would leave it there. But gosh, he didn't have a good day. Okay, and then we've got more Fisher-Price. Fisher-Price, very well known, long-standing, of course, used to make wooden pull toys before they made these plastic toys. This, of course, is the telephone. I'll tell you, my Italian family, that phone never stopped. Everybody should have had one of these. Usually, it's not attached, right? This yellow cord's usually broken, or you know, the phone set's gone. That's how much? How much? Oh, 5. 5 is good. Value on this is closer to 15. How about the trains? I have trains, I have trains. All of you will tell me that you have trains. Great. Trains. First of all, if you look at them, this looks like the whole set, and you could tell by the undercarriage when you turn one over, like the red caboose, right? Should be the same kind of, right? The same type of metal that you're seeing underneath. This mark right here. See that mark? That's the mark you want. So that's the Marx mark, M-A-R, and see the X in the middle? That's the Marx mark. You want that, very well-known lithograph tin company. They want $100 for it. All of them, all together, in working condition. I'm assuming that they're in working condition. All together, $150. So, bargain. I stopped here because of the glass. And some of it's really nice, and some of it's really overpriced. So, what's overpriced? This. That's overpriced. They want 10 bucks for it. I would say it's worth about 10 bucks. So I would leave it right here amidst all of the made in China holiday houses that are low quality ceramic. So then there's this piece. Little toothpick holder. I'm not big on toothpicks. I think the whole thing's disgusting, but you know, people do use toothpicks. But toothpick holders like this, the color is what you want to look for in a piece of glass like this, and the very sharp cuts are what you want to see too. It's from the 1950s, 60s, and then you can see on the bottom they want 15 for it, which is about retail value. The piece behind it is a candy dish with a lid, of course. That's 40. They want 40 for it, and that's about retail price too. These hens, right, sitting on their nest. I like the coloration. I like the way in which you have this opalescent ceramic color. They only want 10 bucks for it. So for 10 bucks, I would say it's definitely worth 15. I don't like this one in blue as much as I like the other one. This one's 40. Well, it's good. I don't like it because it's more money. But I don't like it as much because I don't think the glass is really as high quality as the others. I know you think I walked by pink depression glass. I didn't. Don't worry. This piece is a reproduction piece. It happens to be pink glass, but not made from the Depression era. This piece is Depression era glass. It's $40. That's retail value. I don't walk by it if I know it's valuable. I always think this is a good idea. Are you wondering what's in the toy grab bags? I love shoes. You know I love shoes. Why wouldn't I love shoes? Sam Edelman, look at these. I like a big chunky heel too. I like that. Don't pull off the interior. Sometimes you have to, oh, it hurts and you want to put your insole in it. Don't pull it off because it shows you, again, a design element for authentication. They want, I hate when they write on the bottom though. I don't like that, but they do it. They write on the bottom, $59 for it. It's in great shape. What do I think they're worth? 100, easy. These are Bagley Mishkas, and I have a big foot, so I'm good with this. And I like flats, so I'm good with this. So here you go. These are also $54.99. Bagley Mishka is a very, very famous designer and made these, and these are like new with the rhinestones. Look at that, those are really nice. Flats, in good condition. They have the original packaging as well. Here's the box for Bagley Mishka. What do they want? They want $59.99. These are $150. All of this would drive me nuts because my ankles are fat, so I'm not going to like wrap all this around my ankles. So I'd put those back, but one of you who has pretty ankles, you could do that. Oh, here you go. Sneakers and such. How about Calvin Klein with the Velcro? $49.99. Why use the Sharpie on the bottom of the thing? Just get a tag. So to me, you devalue them a little. They're a little bit worn, but I like those too. And if they're really $14.99 and not what you wrote here, so this is the confusion, so you got to ask, and don't be shy, ask. They want to make it right. But if it's $14.99, definitely take them because they're worth $75. If it's $49.99, well, they're still worth $75. So this whole area just reminds me of my Aunt Chris, one of my Italian aunts, and she was very chic and fashionable in her day. I'm going to move this. This is just an old lunchbox. This is a travel case from the 1950s, and it's big. You can see the size. So it's travel case, and it's intended for lingerie and makeup so when you open it up, you're going to see there is, of course, a mirror here. The zipper opened very, very easily. Did you notice that, how easily the zipper opened? So when the zippers open and close easily, that's a very good sign. In the manner of Samsonite, who made these really popular for train travel, not really much for airplane travel, for train travel is what they were for. The other thing I want you to look for is condition. Look at the beautiful condition of it. And one of the big telltale signs is the length and size of the strap or handle, as well as, of course, the stitching that you see here. They want 18 for it, which is a very good number. And I would say it's worth closer to 35. The other thing I wanted, how about granny squares? They're back so big. I saw one of my young nieces wearing a granny square, vest, but here's an old one from the 1960s, a little pillow with the granny squares. For all of the crocheting I do, I don't know anything about granny squares. Here's what I don't know how to do them. I can't do a square. I can do rectangles, but not squares. I don't know why. The dogs I just think are so wonderful. So he's adorable. He's $12, and he is a very typical color of the 1950s and 60s. So between 1955 and about 1965, this seafoam teal color, very, very popular. And he's very figural, so you can see the mold that he was made from. He's ceramic, but the mold that he was made from has a lot of details. The more details, the higher the value. On the back, we've got a price of $12. Value on this is going to be closer to 20. Wall decor, 1970s pieces, macrame owls. My dad collected owls. I always think when I see owls, I think of my father. Basically, natural elements like this material, along with the natural macrame, really big because it looks back to the 70s. It's throwback 50 years. $22 is what they want for it, and that piece is worth $100. So I see ball canning jars all over, and I always think of this guy who was in my antique appraisal comedy show, and he brought me a ball jar. And he brought a ball jar, and on the side of the ball jar it said, ball, 1858. And I said, oh, well, your ball jar is worth, $8. And he got all mad at me, screaming at me from behind the audience way back, and he goes, that's not true. I have the first ball jar that was ever made, 1858, says it right on it. I'm like, the company was established in 1858. You do not have the first one. These are later ball canning jars, but it always reminds me of him. And these, of course, are, they say, of course, perfect mason jars. They're glass. They want $3.40 for this one with the lid, and they want $3.15 for one without the lid. They're worth about $6 each with the lid. Without the lid, they're worth like $5.75, I guess. But basically, always reminds me of that guy. I will never forget him. What? Did I uncover treasures? Of course I uncovered treasures. There's more to come.